Hey, welcome back, Casibang's crew. We are on video number 3. We're going to talk about the nervous system and the endocrine system today. So we've already talked about neurons and we've talked about neurotransmitters, the electric signal and the chemical signal that is happening in our body. Now we're going to take that a little bit bigger. Okay, and we're going to talk about our nervous system and our endocrine system and how they work together. So our objectives here, we're going to discuss the effect of the endocrine system on our behavior, and we're going to describe the nervous system and its subdivisions and its function. So you guys have this diagram in your video notes, so we're just going to go through and we're going to fill it out. So the nervous system is a really huge part of our body. So it is divided into a few different systems, and you do need to know that. So here in this graphic, we're going to kind of do the divisions together. So the first major division is our peripheral nervous system and then our central nervous system. So this is our peripheral nervous system. So the peripheral nervous system is everything from our fingers down to our toes, all the way, all the nerves that are in our body. Where our central nervous system over here in green is very basic. It is our brain and our spinal cord. Okay, our brain and our spinal cord. That one is not divided anymore. Okay, so this one ends here. But our peripheral nervous system, because it is so huge, has a few more divisions. Okay, so they are, first one, our autonomic nervous system, which controls all of our actions that lead to homeostasis with our organs and our glands. So our heart pumping, our lungs working, those kind of things. And then our somatic nervous system, which deals with all of our voluntary muscular and skeletal movements. Okay, so think movement. Somatic is movement. Our autonomic nervous system here is further divided into two more things. The first one is our sympathetic nervous system, which is our arousing nervous system. I always say when we're in a stressful situation, our sympathetic nervous system is activated. So the S in sympathetic goes with the S in stress. And then our parasympathetic nervous system is the nervous system that helps to calm us after something stressful happens, or is the system that's just around when everything is normal, when we're all okay. Again, in our peripheral nervous system, in the somatic nervous system is our skeletal and muscular system. We have a few different types of neurons. So the first type is our sensory neurons, otherwise known as afferent neurons. And yes, you do need to know both names. So our afferent neurons are nerves that are coming from our sensory organs going to our central nervous system. So let's say we're touching something. Okay, so our afferent neurons are going to take that feeling all the way up our arm to our spinal cord and to our brain. And then motor neurons, these are efferent neurons. Okay, motor neurons are efferent neurons. These are nerves that are coming from our central nervous system, our brain and our spinal cord, out to the muscles of the body. Okay, motor neurons, think motor, think movement. Okay, these are things that we're going to send a message from my brain to tell me to move my hand. Okay. And then the last type of neuron are interneurons. These are contained mostly in your brain, and they do the connections. Okay, they make the connections between sensory and motor neurons. So in this example here, this example uses the flame on a candle, but I always just say a hot stove because we've all touched a hot stove before. So you put your hand down on a hot stove and your sensory neurons are taking that heat and pain message from your fingertip all the way up your arm to your spinal cord to your brain, okay, where that message is transferred by an interneuron. And then your brain says, lift your hand, right? So then that message is sent by a motor neuron from your brain to your spinal cord all the way down your arm, and you lift your hand away from the hot stove. So obviously it happens a lot quicker, a lot faster than I just even described it. It took me a minute to describe it, and it happens, in a millisecond. Okay, that's how fast our neurons are activating and sending messages through our body. This graphic, I really like this graphic because it kind of explains what is happening in your body when these different systems are activated. So in your sympathetic nervous system, remember sympathetic goes with stress. So we've aroused our body. There's something stressful, there's something scary that's going on. So your body automatically does a few things when your sympathetic nervous system is aroused. It dilates your pupils, it accelerates your heartbeat, it stops digestion. Okay, we don't want to waste any energy digesting our food. We might need to, fight or flee. It stimulates glucose release, again, so that we have energy to fight or flight. It can stimulate our adrenal gland to release adrenaline. And it relaxes our bladder. If you've ever been scared out of your mind and you peed yourself, this is why. You can say thanks to your sympathetic nervous system because your bladder relaxed and it let that urine out. Your parasympathetic nervous system here, this is our nervous system that is calming, or as just when everything is normal. Our pupils are constricted, our heartbeat is normal, digestion is happening like normal, our bladder contracts again, and it allows blood flow to our sex organs. Our endocrine system and our nervous system work really well together. They work hand in hand, so that's why we talk about them together. So our endocrine system is also a chemical communication system, just like with our neurotransmitters that we said that they communicate in chemicals, but they do it by using hormones. And hormones and neurotransmitters are similar, but there are some really significant differences. First of all, neurotransmitters are in our nervous system, and hormones are in our endocrine system. Neurotransmitters are super quick. Okay, they're very, very fast. They deliver messages really, really fast. And they only have to travel a teeny tiny little short distance just into that synapse. Whereas hormones travel longer distances in our body and they're more sort of slow and methodical. Okay, so we say that the hormones are like snail mail and our neurotransmitters are like email. Hormones are also in our bloodstream, okay, released into our bloodstream, whereas neurotransmitters are released into our nervous system. Normal circumstances, our parasympathetic nervous system and our endocrine system work together to maintain that homeostasis. And in stressful situations, our endocrine system helps to support the sympathetic nervous system. So for example, you're in a gas station, it's being robbed, the criminal pulls a gun on you and the attendant. Your endocrine system releases adrenaline into the bloodstream, sustaining your body's defensive reaction, that fight or flight response. The two systems work together, the endocrine system finishing what the nervous system starts. It helps to keep your heart pounding, your muscles tense, and keep you ready for action, whether you're going to, fight off the intruder or the criminal or you're going to run away. So the pituitary gland is the master gland of the endocrine system. You have to remember that. Okay, it's the master gland because it regulates all of the other glands in the endocrine system. And here is your pituitary gland in your brain. And when we diagram the brain, we'll diagram the pituitary gland as well. Pituitary gland is under the control of the hypothalamus, and it sends out these hormone signals to the other glands. Your thyroid gland is up here in your neck, and it helps regulate metabolism, growth, development, and calcium. Your adrenal gland sits right here on top of your kidneys, and again, it releases adrenaline to help with your fight or flight response and also assists in metabolism. Your pancreas, okay, your pancreas is here. This helps to regulate your level of sugar or glucose in your body. Look at that gallbladder. That's what I had removed, that little gallbladder. Poor gallbladder. And then your gonads are also included in your endocrine system. So they regulate development, your secondary sexual characteristics. and maintain your reproductive organs in adults. So your testes in males produce testosterone, and your ovaries in female produce estrogen and progesterone. All right, so make this connection. How do the nervous and the endocrine systems work together in a very physical sense? For instance, how do the adrenal glands know when to secrete epinephrine? Okay, so I'm going to pause the video here, and I want you to answer that question. All right, and then this is the last. Again, I just really like this graphic because it does show the different glands in the endocrine system and shows you like where they are in the body and what they do in your body. It's just a nice graphic. All right, so that is it for the nervous system and the endocrine system. Please remember to bring your questions into class tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.